Hi friends, this is Manish. So in today's video, we are going to launch a Windows EC2 instance, and then we are going to connect to that EC2 instance. Basically, we are going to RDP into the new Windows EC2 instance. So let's get started. So first of all, to launch an EC2 instance, you need to go into the EC2. So under services, under compute, I see EC2. Click on that. And here I see a button which says launch instance. Click on this button. So for this video I'm going to select only the free tier, so I will check this box and scroll down and find the Windows server. There you go, it says Microsoft Windows Server 2016 base. I select this and then I get a couple of options, but I'm going to select only the free tier, T2 Micro, and these are the specifications. I click on next. I need to fill this form to create the EC2 instance. So number of instances 1. I don't want any spot instances as of now. I only want the on-demand instance, so I will not check this box. Under network, it is giving me option to either choose the default VPC, or I can create new VPC, or I can select the existing VPCs which I've already created. But for the purpose of this video, I'll select default, but for better security and all, you can create your own VPC and then put this new instance into that VPC. For subnet, I'll say no preference. So EC2 instance can be created in any of the availability zone. I don't have any preference. Since I want my EC2 instance to be public so that I can connect, so I will say auto assign public IP as enabled. Next is placement group. So for placement group, I can create a new placement group and create all of my instances in the same facility. But I don't want this as of now, so I'll not select this. But you can do that because that enhances your internal network. Next is join directory. I leave no directory. I don't want that. IAM role. So ideally it is recommended that you should select an IAM role while creating an EC2 instance. That would mean that you are not storing your username and password inside the EC2 instance. All you are doing is assigning a role to that EC2 instance. So that is always recommended. As of now, I'm saying none. Shutdown behavior. So it would ask me whether I want to stop or terminate during a shutdown. So I'll say stop because I don't want to lose the instance. Enable termination protection. If I check this box, it would mean that I will not be able to terminate this instance. But if I want to terminate this instance, I need to change the configuration here. I can change it anytime, even when the EC2 instance is running. I need to change the instance, uncheck this box, and then delete this. This is again for safety purpose, so that nobody accidentally terminate your EC2 instance. Next is monitoring. By default, CloudWatch monitoring is enabled, but that monitoring is not the detailed one. It's the basic one or the default one, which is every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, CloudWatch is gonna check your CPU, etc. for your EC2 instance. But if you want to enable the detailed monitoring, then CloudWatch will check the health of your instance every 1 minute, but that has additional charges. Now it's tenancy. For me, shared tenancy is fine, but you can select the dedicated tenancy. That would cost you a little bit more. And elastic GPU, I'm not going to use this EC2 for any graphic purpose, so I would not check this. You can do that. Again, I want to be in the free tier, so I'm not going to select T2 or T3 unlimited. Next is add storage. By default it's coming with 30 GB, so this is fine. and by default the delete on termination is checked. So whenever I will terminate my EC2 instance, I will lose this root volume, which makes sense. But if you want to keep your root volume available, you can always uncheck this box. Now add tags. I'll add a tag name and I'll say Manish EC2 instance, and this tag will flow to instances as well as the volumes. Next, configure security group. So I have one by default, I have the default security group, so I'm going to select this. This security group basically it says all inbound traffic is allowed and all outbound traffic is allowed. But if you want to change that, I would recommend do not change the default security group. So you can create another security group set, and you can mention like only these IP addresses, or only RDP is allowed for this instance. Nobody should be able to SSH into that instance, and there are many more protocols there, so you can select one of them. But for this purpose, I'm selecting default, which says all inbound traffic allowed and all outbound traffic allowed. So now it's asking me to review whatever I've selected, so I'll click on launch, and then it's asking me for choose a key pair. Key pair is nothing but it consists of a public key and a private key. So whenever you want to create a password for login, so you would need the key pair. This is a very important thing. So whoever is creating the EC2 instance, it's a responsibility to save this key pair. You cannot actually lose this key pair. So for this purpose, I am going to create a new key pair. I'll name it as niche key pair. Just download key pair, which is already exist. Now it allows me to save the key pair at my desktop, and I click on launch instances. Alright, now I need to check the status of the EC2 instance, so I go into the EC2 service and click on running instances. I see one running instance, so that might be the one which I created. Yes, so I have one running instance, and this was the instance which I just created. So I can see it has the public DNS name, it has the public IP address. So because I selected auto assign public IP, there you go, so it is ready. So in order to connect to this instance, all you need to do is select the instance and click on connect button. So now it is allowing you to save the Rdp file on your desktop, and or it is also showing you the public DNS name, so how you can connect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the Rdp file. So once you download the Rdp file, you would also need a password. So I'm going to click on this get password. So it's saying you created the instance using this key pair, so I need to choose the key pair. So since I had the key pair on my desktop, so I selected that. So I then click on this decrypt password button. So there you go, I get the password. So if you have lost your key pair, so you are not going to get this password, and eventually you are not going to connect to the EC2 server. So now I just copy the password from here. Alright, so now you can see that I have the remote desktop file over here. I'm gonna double click on this file, connect, and then it is asking me for the password. So I put the password, click on OK, click on yes, and there you go. So right now I'm successfully able to RDP into the EC2 instance. So this is your EC2 instance. You can see the public IP, the public DNS over here. So alright, thanks everyone for watching this video.